Now, the reintroduction of the Prime Minister's position as part of the executive revives a debate that has bedeviled the country for decades. The proposed new look executive with a premier and official leader of opposition is aimed at curing the highly polarized ethnic political contest. But analysts say the political leadership should move away from thinking the premiership threatens the powers of the presidency.
The country will be walking a familiar path in the quest to reform the executive once again. Ironically, it is a journey that began at the Bomas of Kenya, where the BBI report was unveiled on Wednesday. As if going back to the principle and the spirit of the Bomas draft, the BBI is proposing the reintroduction of the Prime Minister's position. Policy analysts say that the restructured executive should be perceived on its merits rather than political lenses.
Every time that conversation has been mooted, there's been some perception among many Kenyans, especially the political class and especially people who are running for presidency, to imagine that it will undermine or diminish the power and the capability or the reach of the president.
In the new structure recommended by the BBI team, the Prime Minister will be a direct appointee of the President and will be an elected member of the National Assembly from a party with a majority in the August House and appointed subject to approval by an absolute majority vote of MPs. The Prime Minister's function, according to the report, shall include exercising control, supervision and execution of the government's day-to-day functions and affairs. The Prime Minister shall also be lead of government business in the National Assembly and chair cabinet subcommittees. But the Prime Minister may be dismissed by the President or through a vote of no confidence in the National Assembly. The report also proposes the return of the Prime Minister's time, where MPs can pose questions directly to the Premier and cabinet ministers. This, analysts say, will bring accountability of the executive to Parliament.
Is a Prime Minister who is responsible, together with his cabinet, to Parliament in terms of lines of accountability.
And in response to the winner-takes-it-all principle that was cited as one of the key causes of bitterly contested elections, BBI has recommended that the loser in a presidential election shall be nominated to the National Assembly and takes over as the leader of official opposition. The opposition leader will name a shadow cabinet and craft a strong opposition that shall act as a government in waiting and hold the government of the day to account.
We're in 2005. Tukapigana kerere, karibu tukapigana makofi. Your Excellency, if we are to succeed in constitutional making in this country, we have to start a process of making a constitution without making a constitution with any individual in mind.
The President, according to the report, shall remain the head of state and government and commander-in-chief of the defense forces. The President shall remain the central symbol of national unity and chair cabinet meetings. The Deputy President, according to the BBI report, remains the President's principal assistant and running mate at the ballot. Even with the reintroduction of a powerful Premier, analysts have allayed fears of a possibility of two centers of power.
So if you look at this, not in terms of the power hierarchy, but in terms of responsibility, the Prime Minister has no direct path to the presidency. In the event that that office is vacated, either by death or impeachment, the Deputy President becomes the President.
The proposed governance structure neither qualifying as a pure presidential or parliamentary system, but rather a hybrid system to foster inclusivity.